Oh, yeah. Trade recap Friday. It's actually a quick one. London markets are like open since 2 hours. No, yeah, 2 hours. And yeah, I took one trade, I messed it up, and the thing is, to the other pairs, I kind of missed, like, the entry opportunity. I was also a bit confused about the chart, to be honest. And I also have to mention, I woke up today way earlier because I'm still sick and I need to recover, and this is PMO me a lot. Because yeah, I typically wake like 2 hours before on session. The last session I typically trade, because having 1 hour to be like after waking up 1 hour to do nothing on the computer, being away from the charts, economics, everything to get clear headed. Then I'm using the 1 hour before the last hour before market open to doing my economical research and my technical analysis, and then I watch price action to see if it gets in my zone or not to finally take my trade. So now this is like kind of my routine, but I couldn't really use it this week because, as I mentioned, I am ill and I need to recover, and this is making me angry. But anyways, shit happens. Now today I was taking a USD trade. I was actually buying. Well, funny enough, well, I have to check it. I think where I was beginning in the morning, I was actually looking for sells, which is funny enough. So my bias was overall at the beginning of the morning not wrong. But because price action the whole week was that iffy, I actually got insecure and started to believe that that I either got bad at trading or my strategy doesn't work. Now, I think you can understand how bad of a price action this week was to, make me think like that, because typically my strategy is fucking sick. Anyways, now I think overall this is pretty reasonable. But this, like, my setup only worked on Monday very well this whole week, because this whole week was, as I mentioned, very iffy. But now still, when I reflect on it, I still could have taken a trade on this one. But the thing is, I have to be super, super concentrated and hyper focused. And also using things I typically don't like to use. Support and resistance. Oh, dude, I fucking hate that. Now, don't get me wrong. I use this for crypto and shit, and it works perfectly fine. But on forex and commodities, I just don't like it. I rather use order blocks, slash demand and supply zones. But support and resistance, man, spare me with that. But yeah, and due to the recent situation and the very funny price action, you kind of have to do things you don't really like to do. Because the thing is, on the 50 minutes, I see right there, buy side, you can call it. Now, yeah, it's kind of going, we have only two, like, very tiny permanent highs. You can actually call it swing highs. But overall, for me, when I look at this, you could also view it on the 5 minutes as, what's it called? Resistance level, right? So taking this as a resistance level, seeing a retest of that, and then taking this sweep of this very tiny prominent high as your entry level, boom. Because if we and then maybe before entering of that, maybe watching if it's going to go any further up, scaling 1 to the 1 minutes. Yeah, looks like it might reject it. So maybe we would enter off here of this um, demand zone, blah blah blah, bottom, because it's not an order block. I have no clue how to name it, because that's a problem with support and resistance. With order blocks, I can have like I have very clear entry zones, whatever. But with that, I don't have it, and that's the reason why I don't like it to use it on forex and commodities, because you typically with my entries I'm super precise. That's the reason why I kept losing this week, because I'm so not used to that choppy market actions for days in a row, because I can't get very sniper entries how I typically get them. So yeah, let's say we would go of right there, right? because we see the retest, prices getting rejected instead of getting any further up. And also with the other shoe we were looking at, confirmation downside, this prominent low as TP, and a bit above this high as stop loss, a bit more for spread to make sure to not get stopped out. And yeah, we see it would have played out. Same thing with USD CHF. I actually was watching this. I wanted to go any further to the downside, but it wasn't. And to be honest, right here I was actually using the also Fibonacci, which I haven't used for a while. And I also thought it would get a bit more further to the downside because we have here on the 30 and 50 minutes a very, in my opinion, very clean Ferrello gap, and it got not really respected. Now we could argue. Now I don't know if it really works that way for other people, but at some point, I need more evidence for that. I need to backtest it more. But it feels like that when there's like a big Favela gap and it's getting out of it, like in terms of not being respected, it feels like that it tries to get somewhere else the liquidity, and then it tries, it starts to respect the Favela gap. But I could be wrong. I need to backtest this way more to actually have some evidence behind it. But right now, it's like only a thought. Anyways, now because of that, I thought it's going to go any further to the downside and take out either this tiny low or this low where it can enter off. It did not. And yeah, now on the other hand, let's go back to the yeah. Well, actually, there's like no support resistance going on. Actually, Fibonacci levels, because right here I could use the fib very clean, and we see it's gotten to the mid range, obvious clean discount. Actually, before that, it was going actually further below, but I was sleeping right there, doing some. And anyways, now we see it actually got back to the 0.5 level, to the discount level, and this could have been like an entry. Now also, oh actually now I remember, yeah, also support resistance. We actually have in theory here a support level on the 50 minutes, it's visible, but it's even more clear on the 5 minutes. Boom, here, retest, oh actually we swept these, both of these lows. Was it pushing any further to the downside? So it got rejected, could have entered then later on this, 0.5 discount level, because right after the sweep, watching it a bit, even if it moves fast, is a bit too, unsure. That's the reason why I would have entered off here if I would have been more aware of that. To actually get my long, to having like the final confirmation, maybe actually being like safe and off there. What does safe mean? Just to be played like more freaky or whatever, like like a buy limit. But let's say we would have entered off this here, boom. Stop loss a bit below that, of course, because of the now of the spreads right there. We also see Favela gap got perfectly respected. We love to see that. Another Favela gap right there, because we already see later that this got invalidated, but at the other hand, this was got respected, fortunately. So goodbye, boom. Now, maybe targeting either this high or this high. Now we see this one got not taken out, but this one got definitely taken out. And this still would have been a cool 6 RR trade. Now, to be honest, I don't want to focus too much on the RR and or whatever, but I don't. So I rather just focus on things which make sense, because it's also the same thing when people say, "Oh yeah, you should root for 2 or 3 RR." I think this is like utter bullshit. I say focus on what makes sense on the market, not what other people say. Oh, you need this RR, you need that RR. Like in this scenario, why do I have like the RR like that? Yeah, 6 is pretty solid, or even this. Why? Because let's talk about the TP. It makes sense for me if it's going to take out this high, but also if I would put it down here, it would make sense to take out this high to play it more safe. And right down here on the stop loss, why is it like relatively tight on the 50 minutes? Yeah, because I don't think it's going to go too much, sweeping the sell side liquidity. Maybe, sweeping and then going up, but not, breaking through it. Like retesting it, but respecting these and then getting rejected off it and then going up. Um, so yeah, this is like what I've seen from today's price action. So typically my ICT shit, I use order blocks and blah blah blah. I did not get, unfortunately, a setup. Also, there's like very poor clean order blocks, to be honest, due to the very iffy price action from the whole week. So this week was clearly, I would argue, some kind of a W for support and resistant traders, but for me, man, yeah, not really. I was kind of forced to practice support and resistance shit, and I actually think I got it at some point. No, I actually think I got used to it. I got used to it, but I learned how to use it properly at some point, I would argue. But still, as soon as market recovers, I want to really stick to my order block ICT thing because it's just way more safe, way more. I just say it's way more secure and also so much more comfortable because you have like a clear level, not a bit like like kind of maybe all support resistance kind of let's say maybe here or here like yeah overall the zone it matters. No, like it's very precise and very clear where the order block, zone is, if you get me, the demand and supply zone and within the order block. And which is also makes it so much more easier to, monitor the retracements and also put having like very laser sharp entries because I used to have like very laser sharp clean ass entries. But now this whole week was very iffy, choppy, and I couldn't use it at all. And it was kind of devastating and making me desperate at some point. Today I was literally doubting myself if my strategy works or not. Like this iffy was the price action of this week. No, I don't want to bitch, but I'm just saying, like I was actually forced to learn to practice more support resistance. Not that I use it to enter off trades, but afterwards, in my trade recaps. So overall, this week was a losing week. At least on Monday I had like a good trading day, but still overall, this is a losing week. Yeah, due to this very cool price action on Friday. Thank you for that. So yeah, next week we should see that that the markets should get back into more of a normal behavior, if you get me, because last week was like very high, like pack of high impact news, right? And this actually caused a lot of volatility and profits taking for banks and institutions. But I would say the final call or like the final hit was like Friday NFP, labor market taking some hits, and for some reason this caused a huge candle movement and this huge ass distribution in the lower time frames. I would argue, and of course, combined with the rest of the week's news and price action, caused a consolidation of this whole week because the distribution of previous week was pretty strong and also crazy. Also, the trading volume. So this week we have like I would argue like at least from since I started the worst or like the craziest accumulation slash consolidation week ever. So overall, I need to keep in mind or remember, dude, your strategy is fucking lit. Okay, don't get um, don't get intimidated by that, because I bet because when I look at some of the traits and also recaps and also seeing the things, my strategy is fire, man. But this week, it's like it's testing me and my beliefs, and I was actually about to flinch, but no, I'm not flinching. So even today was actually better because I only took one trade, actually two trades re-entry, but lower lot size, so it wasn't that bad. So this today was way better than the previous day because I wasn't really getting my shit together and was like I wasn't really understanding that this week why this week was behaving its way it was behaving. So yeah, today was way better even if I took a L. So I'm excited for the next week. And at least I took very good profits, on crypto. Like it was playing completely in my favor. But yeah, besides that, overall, maybe I had to take it. I would argue it actually brought me way closer to support resistance and also being able to use it effectively. Now I wasn't taking trades of this because I just don't like it, but I just got to use it more and getting like just getting used to it and practice it a little. All right, because I bet this might help me in the future, even if I don't really like to use it. Similar to the Fibonacci, I don't really like to use it, but right here it would have been very helpful. Like if you keep in mind, oh yeah, right here, the support level, and getting to the discount and yada yada yada. I think you get the point. So yeah, with that being said, cheers. Oh, by the way, I forgot to cover up the daily bias. So yeah, I think it's going to go up. So yeah, cheers.